back. I'm just on here. I'm just getting the composure. Um, this is going to be a very deep, very intense, and it's not for the faint at heart. So, um, there you go. That's your warning. So, I'm going to be right back. I got to go regroup for myself. This is going to be um, the most. This is going to be tough for me. Okay, and so if you guys, I'm just doing this. This is me. This is me, and I'm gonna do it. So I'll be right back. Come in if you want, but I don't care if anybody does or not. This has got to be done today. I'm here. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. First of all, I just want to say, hey, Happy New Year to everybody. Um, 2022 is going to be my year. I got a gut feeling that there's going to be some great changes here. If you guys don't mind today, I'm going to just leave off the comments. This is a very personal. This is going to be a very personal video, and I don't want to be distracted. Um, so I'll get with you guys um, sometime else. But right now, this is going to be about me. I'm going to be selfish, and it's not really selfish, but this is something that I've been holding on to for a long time. So anyway, Happy New Year to you guys. It's going to be a wonderful year for everybody. I know it is. All right. So this is my life story. This is where I came from. I'm 44 years old. I've lived in Maine all my life. I lived 2 weeks in the state of Connecticut. That's where I was born. I was born in Connecticut, October 25th, 1977. I lived in the very, very poor side of Connecticut. I'm not using these as slang words or anything like that, but I lived more in a Puerto Rican neighborhood because it was the cheapest place for my parents at that time that could get a place to live. My dad is Bill Arthur Houghton Sr., and he lives in Vermont. I do not have a relationship with my biological father at this time. I'll tell you that in the beginning, but I just want to give you a little idea of who my father is. My mother is now deceased. She's been gone for a while, but it's Lorna Houghton. And so, yeah, I started out in this world with two people that did love each other for a bit. It didn't take long for my life to be turned upside down. I have 3 other biological brothers. I have a half brother that lives in Vermont. All my 3 brothers and I, we're all a year apart. Means my youngest brother is 4 years younger than me. No, we all were together in the beginning and all that. But this is really hard. I probably shouldn't even be on here right now, but so let's go back. I lived in a lot of places in my life. I dealt with alcoholism and drugs through my parents, and I had to deal with all them fighting, and it wasn't easy for me. I was the oldest boy, and I had to become an adult at the age of 9. You guys say, well, what the hell? Yeah. So from the age of 9 is when my life turned upside down. Before that, it was horrible too. And it was because of the infidelities of my parents. I had nothing to do with this. But my whole entire life, I blame myself. My whole entire life. And there was a lot of abuse. My dad always hit me. And my mom, yeah, I can tell you a story. I didn't do anything. I came home from school and I had a gut feeling, because I walked my brothers to school and walked them home, and I said, for some reason, I needed to go in by myself. Well, it was a good thing I went in by myself. My mom was having sex with her drug dealer in the bathroom. And instead of her turning around and like covering up, she came after me and chased me. And she was screaming at me and yelling at me. Well, she knocked me out. You know those old corn cob brooms? Those big friggin' brooms, the big handles? Well, I got running around this circle in our house, and we could go through the kitchen, the dining room, and the living room. It was all one circle. Well, I didn't want her to get me. So I was running around the circle, you know what I mean? I was running and running and running. Well, finally, she just stopped, and I didn't realize she stopped, and she swung that bat like a baseball player. And it hit me in the face. It hit me right in the head. It knocked me out. I was knocked out. I was completely knocked out. I woke up with her spitting in my face and screaming and shaking me and telling me how much of a horrible person I was. Yeah, that's my mom. But she was under the influence of drugs. Okay, she was a cocaine. She did every drug under the sun. My brothers don't want to admit this because they were too young to see the stuff that I saw at 9 years old. Okay. So I recovered from this. Okay, she didn't like make me bleed. So the next day, I went to school and everything, and so not, I let it go again. That winter, um, we had, uh, my grandparents came over and they gave us a Christmas tree. My parents didn't have any money. My dad was never around. Okay, all my mom did was smoke cigarettes and drink coffee and do drugs with with 4 kids, right? So that's how it was. There's no denying that I had a perfect life. I didn't. So let's go back to the story. So it was the winter of 1987. We were living in a town called Anson, Maine, and it was the last year I lived there. That's when everything went to hell. My mother completely lost her mind. My dad had another girlfriend, was never home. He was gone at weeks at a time, 2 days, 3 days. I had to do whatever I had to do at this point. I was changing my baby brother's diapers. He was 6 years old, or even five. I think he was five. So I had to find ways to provide for my brothers. So I and my friend Mike, that I had growing up at the time, my best friend, used to steal in the teachers' cars. We used to steal change that was in their tray or whatever they had in there. Eventually, I'm sure the teachers found out what we were doing, but never said anything. Well, they started leaving like $5 bills, $10 bills, $20 bills, so we could eat. So we, so I should say me, could buy diapers. My brother was still drinking a bottle, so I had to get milk and stuff like that. This is at 9 years old, mind you. 9 years old. Think about that for a second. We did have food stamps. So I used to steal the food stamps from my mother, because my mother, every time she got the food stamps, she would make us boys take the red flyer wagon, go down to the local store, buy a couple pieces of penny candy, get the cash so she could buy her cigarettes. And at the time, all I needed was a note from her to the clerk saying that I was buying my mom cigarettes. Okay? So I was already addicted to cigarettes and didn't even realize it. These are all the things that I'm actually seeing as I tell this story. And so anyway, we used to get the old food that was out of the old Maverick store. It was a convenience store. And the old woman, the owner of the store, knew that Mike and I's story wasn't very good. Again, she never did anything to help. You know what I mean? She never called, child services or anything. Nobody did back then. Everybody stayed out of everybody's business. So anyway, we got old pizzas that were left out that never sold. And we'd buy oodles and noodle packages because it was the cheapest thing. And as a kid, that's what we really liked. So we got that, and it was easy to make. But the summer of '87 and in the winter of '87 was when they took my mom away. She went to AmHigh, which is a mental institution, and it wasn't a pretty sight, guys. There was probably every state police department, it was every law enforcement that I could see on my street. And I was standing there with my grandfather and my grandmother, and my father wasn't there yet, but he was the one that called and told her to come get him. Well, it was a very violent situation. My mom hurt a lot of the police officers in the process, broke out a bunch of windows and stuff, and I had to witness this at 9 years old. And I saw my mom get carried away in a straitjacket. And I knew my world was over. I knew I was fucked. And I was screwed for the rest of my life. The only person that I thought that loved me was being carried away. And my dad wasn't there. It was just me. Me and my 3 brothers. That was it. That was it. So what do I do now? What do I do now? You listen to God. That's what came to my head. So, the worst place that I ever went to was the next place I'm going to talk about. I went to a place in West Athens, in Maine, to a place where there was no running water. No nothing. I had an outhouse. My 4 brothers and I. This is where my dad brought me. And it's also where my brothers were sexually molested. And I was forced to watch. And there was nothing I could do about that. It was out of my control. But at the time, I didn't see it that way. Now, that was the worst experience. And once I found an opportunity as 9 years old, I planned to run away one night when all of them were sleeping so my brothers wouldn't be touched and molested. And I said that was the only thing that I could do. So I gathered up my brothers and we walked up to the closest house, which was a couple miles. And at the time, all they had was those rodeo dial phones. And I happened to know my grandparents, my grandmother's number and stuff. And I told them to get a hold of my father. So they got a hold of my father. And we stayed here at the place until he got there. Well, he got there and everything was the next day. We had to spend the night up there. I told the woman what the story was. So my dad showed up. I told him the whole story. And he was all mad, all pipped on. I didn't understand. He's like, okay, well, we're going to get you out of here. We're going to go. We're going to find a place. Well, come to find out, his girlfriend didn't want to take any kids. So he told us that. He's like, yeah, well, Carol doesn't want you guys. She doesn't have enough room for you. She just doesn't want any kids. So we're like, oh shit, here we go again. So he drove us into town of Skowhegan, and he dropped us off at the Department of Human Services, where we should have been 6 months ago, after the damage was done. So we meet Rebecca Harvey, our caseworker. And this is actually 1988, almost 1988. It's the end of 1987. So we're at the Department of Human Services, and my dad gets this paperwork, and he doesn't talk to us or nothing. He's off on the other side, and we're over here talking to the caseworkers. And I kind of had this feeling that this was it. This was the last time I was going to see my father, too. Sure enough, it was right. He wrote off all rights, parental rights, anything regarding us, and gave it to the state of Maine. So therefore, now, in 1987, I'm a ward of the state. Great, huh? Wonderful life, right? Sure it is. You know, and even experiencing what I've already gone through, I still haven't recovered from this, you know. So we go through the process of foster care. And we get jumped around. Foster homes, temporary homes, one in Canaan. We didn't stay there very long. It was basically a home for mentally ill people, disability people. It wasn't really for 4 boys that were just torn from their family. So I've never felt in my entire life safety and security. I've never felt what love felt like at this point in my life. I never had it. But I still was me. I was still able to maintain my heart and God for some reason. It just wouldn't let me go. So my fourth grade year, see, I jumped around. I should have. None of us boys never stayed in a school system long enough. I think the longest was like 2 years. So I ended up starting my fourth grade year in Canaan, and I met for the first time my teacher, Mark Poulin. And Mark, to this very day, I still have a relationship with him. It was the first time where I actually felt someone love me. And he was always looking out for me. So when I met Mr. Poulin, my fourth grade teacher, I started to feel a little bit better. Like I couldn't wait to get to school because I didn't want to be where I was in my home. I was in a foster home. I didn't want to be there. So it was great. He always looked out for us, and I got into a lot of fights at school. Well, and it wasn't because I was a mean person or anything like that. It was defending my youngest brother. My youngest brother was 6 years old in kindergarten and still wearing diapers. And so he got made fun of quite a bit. So I had to grow a big backbone, and I got in a lot of fights. So, yeah. We weren't in Canaan very long. My music teacher, she was in her like mid-60s, and she was getting ready to, she's further in life, but she loved what she did. So I found out that she was a foster parent, and I was the kid that always brought her bags out to her car, because back then the music teacher stayed within the district, and she was actually Mark Poulin's good friend. They used to talk a lot together, and Mark told Mrs. Reisner the story of us boys. I didn't know about it at the time. So she came in one day, and I didn't know what led up to this. But I guess what happened was she went home and talked to her husband, and they were foster parents, and they just let their license go, and they didn't really want it. And my foster dad at the time said, "No, we'll just do a temporary thing, because we didn't know where we were gonna go. I knew that I was gonna again be moving schools again for fifth grade and all that stuff, but I didn't know where I was going, and I didn't know where my brothers were going." And so anyway, to make a long story short, 1988, December 23rd, I moved into my permanent home. I was 9, going on 10 years old. 10 years old at the time, 11, 10. I don't know. I don't really remember a lot of the numbers and the times at the time, because it's been a while since I've actually rehearsed redid all this. I've been putting it away for a while, so one thing led to another. Okay, so we ended up spending Christmas with my new foster parents, Dorothy and Robert Reisner. And it changed my life. I finally had a mother and father figure. My brothers and I were still together, even though all the stuff that we all had to experience, more my brothers than I. But those people did get convicted for sexual abuse, They served 14 months in prison. That was it. A father and son. Which was pretty sad, but either way, they put me where I was. And it's made me a strong person. And I'm leaving out all the great details. I didn't really want to say that because it's irrelevant, right? So we get to this foster home, and this is where I stayed from fourth grade, the end of fourth grade, until my senior year in high school. But do you think I was really grateful? No, I wasn't. Because at the age of like 12 and 13, because I did go to psychologists. I went to psychologists for the first 4 years that I was in the foster care system. I was forced to go down and see my mother down at Amhi as a child, seeing her all like drugged out and all that stuff. It was just horrible memories, even living at the Reisner farm. So it didn't take me long to find alcohol. So I started drinking at like 13 years old. And I mean every weekend. Because I had a friend of mine that had older brothers and their family was into alcohol. So that's where I went every weekend. They were my best friends because I could get alcohol. And I was very good at hiding it until I started getting my driver's license. And thought I was pretty arrogant. And I drove home many times drunk. I'm not going to lie, it happened. I was lucky. I'd come home, my dad would be waiting for me, and I was slopped out drunk. He says, "You can't fool me. I know you're drunk." He said, "Go upstairs and do your thing." He said, "But I don't want it here anymore." So then I just stopped coming home. I just started staying over at my friend's house. And then I started experimenting with other drugs. Marijuana. I didn't really care about smoking stuff, you know what I mean? But there was other stuff there, you know. People would have friggin' I don't know. It was the prescription pill stuff, you know, Vicodins and shit like that. And so I started doing a few of those, and they started making me feel pretty good. But I really didn't like those either. My drug of choice was always alcohol. And I'd get so freaking drunk. But there was other things that kept me doing that. And it was because I kept suppressing everything that was inside me. And I was always told that I'd never amount to nothing. I kept telling myself that. So throughout my whole entire life. And I was easily just faking everything, thinking that everything was okay. And I knew it wasn't. I knew I was fucked, and I was screwed. And everything was so bad for me, and I kept wallowing in my pity. And it kept getting me deeper, further and further in alcohol abuse. I didn't even realize it at the time. So anyway, I got through high school. Actually, I'm going to go back to, I was my freshman year. My freshman year. Because I played basketball, I played football, I played baseball. And I was good at every sport. But no one, I mean, all my close friends knew that I drank a lot because they'd all like closet drink. Some of them didn't. I was proud of those ones that didn't. They didn't cave into peer pressure. But my freshman year was the last time I ever played any sports. I met my now wife in high school. We're still together now. But I put that girl through hell. Even through high school. Because I never did anything with her. I didn't include her in my partying days. I didn't want her to see me that way. So I always put that away, but she always knew the real me. I don't know what she ever saw in me. I really don't. But we made it through high school together. I made it through high school. And my dad shows up in my life. My real dad. He wanted to congratulate me because I was the first Houghton to ever graduate high school. And you know, at this point, I really could care less if you'd even been there or not. I had so much hatred for him, and I had a lot of hate for everything. But then he was gone, like every other time. So again, I have never had any security and safety in my life, except for my wife, and I didn't even realize it until later, years later. So she's seen everything. She's my best friend. She's seen everything. So one day, I realized anyway, I've missed a lot of shit in my life too, man. Completely missed it all because of drinking. You know, decided to move out on my daughter's 8th birthday because I didn't want to be in the family anymore. I was too damn selfish, suffering myself, drinking, adulterating things, just stupid stuff. Really stupid stuff. So I know about addiction, and I know how baffling and controlling it is. It's pretty much controlled my life, but it doesn't anymore. And I'm leaving out a lot of details because it's irrelevant. I just know that my story is real, and where I came from is real. And starting in 2022, I'm going to start concentrating on just awareness of addiction. I've got a brother right now that's suffering from addiction. And it's very important for people to understand that these people aren't junkies. They're not losers. These people have fathers and mothers and brothers that love them dearly. So using that term of junkie is horrible because they're not. They have a disease. They're sick. So you guys want to know what I've been doing the last 12 days? I've been taking care of my brother that's suffering from addiction. That's why I haven't been on YouTube. And it's very painful to see somebody go through this suffering. Even though that I've already gone through this, he's gone through this suffering, but he just can't remove himself from this. Now, 5 days ago, my brother lost a friend of his due to addiction. My brother was staying in a hotel room all summer, room 10. But he got evicted. And now he lives with me. But you know what? In those times that he was in that hotel room, since he's been there, there's been 2 suicides, addiction overdoses in room 10. Now, my brother could have been that one. But he's not. He's not here today. But I know where he is. So here you see, we don't realize until we can walk in another person's shoes. We don't ever understand an individual if you can't see through the silver lining. And you can never judge a book by its cover. Now, everybody out there, and I know that I'm not going to be any finger pointing here because I don't do that to people, but I'll tell you one thing. I'm not going to judge you. I will never judge anybody because I know where I came from. And I know that everyone has their own story, as I do. I may not be the most religious person. I may not go to church, and I may not read the Bible. But I sure as hell believe that there is a God. And I believe in him. And I pray to him all the time. Not just for me, but for world peace and for saving all these people that are in need, to have them look after them and help them in their times of need. I pray for that. And I pray for myself. And I pray for my brother. And I pray for anybody out there. Because we all deserve the very best out of life, irregardless of our past. It's not about your past. It's about where you are right now and what your future is going to be. Right now is the only time that you can actually do anything about your future. If you want to change the difference of the future, do it now. That's where it's going to really matter. And words are very powerful. Words dictate your future.
Where's that one?
He went away. He went with Taya picked her up.
Okay.
So I'm just doing a live video. I hope this is all for nothing. I just hope this isn't all for nothing, is what I'm trying to get at. Because it's been so long since I've been on here. Because my attention's been so much towards my brother and the energies that I'm having to deal with. And on top of my brother, my middle daughter just moved out, so she's on her own now. And that's just another energy change that I've had to deal with. So there's so much going on and so many energy shifts and changes at this time that at times it feels like it's been overwhelming for me. And it's unmanageable sometimes. And this time is now. It's really hard for me right now. And not only that, I mean, I've got a 4-year-old boy that I'm pretty much taking care of 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That's something to be adjusting to. You know, he doesn't want to go home anymore. He's pretty much, my wife and I are taking care of him and raising him too. So it's leaving me with a lot less time to be on YouTube. Life is actually getting in the way, and I know life is more important right now, and my family and everything like that is way more important than any YouTube video. You know? And I hope, and it's not being selfish. Maybe I'm being selfish, I don't know. I don't see it that way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna put YouTube first anymore. It's not doing me any beneficial services for this by any shape or form. For one, there is no monetization for my channel, guys. I have no desire for it. I'm not in this YouTube content creating for just the money. It's not even in the equations. And I keep telling everybody, and they're like, people don't believe me, but it's the truth. If it was, I'd be out there trying to get marketing. I could go out there and market myself. I could go out there and get friggin' advertisement and all that stuff. I can do that. But I don't want to at this time. At this time, I didn't even think that this channel was even going to go anywhere. I just came out here to try to socialize with people. Maybe connect to people. Maybe try to make someone's day better than it was yesterday. But I just feel like I'm yesterday's news. You know? For whatever reason that is. It just doesn't feel right. I can bend over backwards like I have been. trying to promote everybody. For what reason? What good ever comes out of this? And I'm not trying to be selfish and I'm not trying to be mean, but it's not benefiting me. Now, when you start feeling like there's no benefit for you, then what is there for me to hold on to? I don't know. I don't know where this is going to go. But I'm just come to the realization is I got the shit ass fucking luck. And I'll tell you why. I got one fucking video that's got 12 million views. And that's how I feel. I should feel a sense of accomplishment, but I don't feel shit. I don't feel like I've done anything. And it's sad. It's really fucking sad that I feel this way. This isn't the peaches and cream. That's why I only got one person listening to me. Because I'm not, oh, happy, happy, happy. Because you know what? I'm normal. I'm friggin' human. I've been dealing with a lot of fucking shit. You guys have no fucking clue. No one has a fucking clue. And I got no support cast. That's how I feel. In and out, in and out. That's all it is. It's just a fucking number that I'm following. And it's bullshit. What is this all about? What's this for? I don't know. But I've hit a roadblock. And I can have a handful. I have a handful of people that are concerned. But I'm feeling that the only reason why 99% of these people are on YouTube is for one reason and one reason only. And that's to be YouTube famous and to make money at it. I've come to that conclusion. It's not about the real fucking thing. It's not about changing lives or making a difference or making some. It's temporary happiness for one. That's what it really is. It's a stimulation of dopamine that you get stuck into. And why I have this information is because I've never been on any friggin' computer for it's been almost a year. One full year since I've even been on any technology. The only thing I had was a TV. Never had a cell phone. So that's how I get to this conclusion. That's how I got to all this. Because in a lot of ways, this thing right here that I'm looking into is your worst enemy. And I mean that. Because this can consume your life just like a drug. And it can bring you places you don't want to go. And it can take you down avenues and meet people that you have no desire to know. And that you end up knowing on accident, and they make your life a living hell. That's how I've come to this conclusion. And I put so much time and effort into my channel. I've done everything possible to try to help every single person. I make it my friggin' sole purpose to create my community, to share people's videos so they can grow. And I expect nothing in return. But then again, I feel the same way I feel right now. I feel it's all for... It feels like I've hit rock bottom myself. And where am I? Let's see what everybody's saying now. I'm sure it's a bunch of... How you doing, Max Eric? 420, how you doing, buddy? Who's still on? Who's been on since the beginning? See, that's the thing, everybody. We can look at somebody and say, oh my God, he is so arrogant. He is so cocky. I am none of that. I am the last person on this friggin' planet. I lack my confidence. I should be way more confident. You know, I should be the richest man in the world right now. But you know what that would do to me? It would change me completely. I don't understand. I really don't. I don't get it. And it's because my emotions are getting the best of me right now. Because my brother's out of my control. I can't control anything that anybody does. But when you see that, it's horrible. Yeah, I try to be a cool man. It's crazy. You guys don't know how much time I've put into this channel. I've put my heart and soul into this channel. And I'm feeling like I want to just throw it all away. I just wish somebody would change my mind. Been doing a lot of writing too. A lot of writing. I didn't know I was a poet. So I'd like to share one with you. I wrote, it's actually going to probably end up being a song if I can. The title is The Mirror of Me. When I look into the mirror, I don't see me. I see you in me, full of light, full of life and love, and the greatest gift above. The only perfect one you see, you and me. It's the infinite soul that shines, you see. That's what I wrote down. I just wrote a poem, you know. It was on my mind, and I was thinking of my brother at the time, and that we are all mirrors, and we are experience the same experiences through energy, standing in front of each other, you know, whatever moment we're in. But yeah, I got a lot of writing that I wrote down too. No matter what happens in your life, at that very moment, know it too will shall pass. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And to be honest with you, this story of where I came from hasn't been said. I don't talk about it. This is the first time. I had a little bit on another channel, and so you guys got it. Maybe you guys can understand who I am. I am a kind and loving person. Unconditional love is where I am at, and I always have been there. And that's not going to change. But I am going to take a longer break. There's still a lot of stuff that I need to do. And I need to take more time for myself, and especially for my brother. I really feel that he needs my time. I think the worst thing you can do for somebody that's really sick at the time is tell them that they're no good, and he's always been that way. He's going through a divorce too, guys. His family don't want nothing to do with him. No one wants anything to do with him but me right now. And I'm not going to let him go. And I tell him every single day that I love him. and that he's needed. And he needs to be here with us. I love cooking meals for him. You know, I started cooking a lot more meals lately because of this. You know, I want him to have meals, and I know that when he's not here, I don't know if he's eating. So these are all the things that I'm having to deal with, guys. It's not been a cakewalk. I picked up smoking cigarettes again, so I'm smoking nicotine. Plus, I do smoke cannabis too. I smoke weed, but I've been laying off on it because of my depression. I've been getting a lot more depressed because I've been smoking. So, yeah, my life's upside down right now. So would it be, though. I'm always looking for the greatest in it. And I'm still strong. And I'm not drinking. See, I didn't go back to alcohol this time, boys and girls. I'm a lot stronger than that. Who's on? Hey, how you guys doing? Just want to say hello. Panama. You're right. We can't control it. Just gonna be a good example. Yeah, for sure. That's all I'm doing right now. It's been the toughest 12 days of my life. I feel like I'm going through the same process that my brother's dealing with. It's crazy. But if it hadn't been for, let's see. If it hadn't been for Panama City, this process I wouldn't be going through this process, guys. She helped me open up that door. I didn't want to fucking open the door, trust me. But now I've already opened it, and now I've got it. So it's just been it's been hard. It's been really hard. It's hard. I'm not gonna deny that. But today's the first day where I'm actually by myself. This is the first day where there's been nobody in the house except for my daughter just got out of work. I got to give her a ride back home, but it's nuts. I'm going through the most intense change that I've ever experienced in my life. I don't know if anybody can grasp that, but I did open the door. So let's go back to let's do a good side. What can we do about this that's really, really exciting for me that's going to be happening? Well, I got a miracle interview that I'm going to be doing. It's a testimony of a fellow that lives in Norridgewock. He was completely healed of cancer. And I want you guys to hear that story coming up probably in a few more weeks. I've actually met an old high school friend that I haven't seen in like 30 years. And so that was kind of cool to reunite with him. I have a great friend up in Canada, Nick LeBreton. I'm going to be doing probably I don't know, I'm not really sure what we're going to do yet, but we're going to do a video together somehow. Well, I'm really looking forward to that. And it's funny, Nick sent me some his homemade tomato sauce, and it was wonderful. We ate some of that over the vacations that we had here too. That was wonderful. Thank you, Nick, if you happen to see the video. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know. The biggest reason why I probably haven't been on here is because I'm not in the right mindset. That's obvious. But yeah, I got a long way to go, And good thing I got a long time, hopefully. So who's still on? Maybe we can talk. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, guys. But I just know that I'm just gonna use the time that I can. Um, I definitely need it. Definitely need it. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not gonna go off. I'm just gonna go take a quick break. I'm gonna go use the bathroom. You guys can do what you gotta do. I'm not gonna give you a ride out there. Whoop, whoop. Hey, so I got a question. What can we do? What can we do as individuals to raise awareness for suicide and addiction? What can we do about that? Anybody got any answers? Hey, how are you? Thank you. I gotta go. I have a plus one to go. Yeah, I could use some extra support right now because I'm not. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm not giving my brother any money. I don't feel that's safe right now. Um, so I do other things. If he needs gas, I'll put the gas in for him and stuff. And I'm not handing out stuff like that. I don't want to give him any extra temptation. It's hard to stop him from being around the people that have it. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't have any money, so it makes it tough. So anyway, I've been on for an hour, so I'm gonna. I don't know how many people we got. 4 people on here, right? Sweet. So yeah, so there are people listening to me. Good, I need to. What are you doing now? Talk about it. Well, what I'm doing right now is I'm just supporting him with my love. I'm providing him a roof over his head, a warm shower, um, you know, food in his belly, and giving him as much love as I can. Every time I see him, if he's walking or whatever by me, I tell him I love him, because I feel for this man. This man's lost everything. He's lost his job after 20 years. Everything's falling apart on him. So I'm not gonna fall apart on him. I'm gonna be there for his moral support and his love, for the love for being, loving him. So the next step that I really want to, I really want to get him help. That's what I really want to do.
You ain't gonna cup it though.
No. I'm not doing any of that. No, I'm not. No, I'm not doing that. Panama. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not giving him any money whatsoever. None. And he's not allowed. The other thing too, and maybe this is kind of bad too, but he's not allowed to be here when he's under the influence. I don't want him bringing it back, and I don't want him bringing any of his friends back here, really. I mean, this is my home too, and he's respected that. But it's this. I never thought. No, there's nobody wanting to help him. And the biggest fear about this right now with my brother is I don't want him dead. I know that he's still here for a reason, and it's just been a hard 12 days for me. He's gone through hell and back. He's doing, I don't know. It's just this has been, I don't know. This has been. Let's see. Only be happy. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm grateful for being able to be in this position, but taking on this position is a lot more difficult than I expected. That's all. I'm still happy. And I'm still a loving person. It's just, I feel that when you open up another door, you never know what's going to be on the other side, and it's only up to you whether you decide whether it's good or bad. At this point, it's very hard because I have a brother that doesn't want to really help himself. He's still wallowing in his pity. And that's difficult to see because you know that it's out of your control. And the only thing that you can do at this moment is what I'm doing right now, and it's the very best I can. And supporting him, and I would never, and I told him it because he's always worried about me kicking him out. I'm never going to kick him out. I don't care what he does. As long as he doesn't bring his shit back home here and do it in front of my family or bring anybody back here that's doing it, he's got a roof over his head. So I'm never going to do that to him. So.
No, the best thing you can do is love from a distance.
That's right. And sometimes my daughter just said you can love from a distance. And I never leave my doors locked just in case he needs to come home in the middle of the night. So that's been, that's something that I've always, since he's moved in here, But I know his patterns now. He'll be gone for like 2 or 3, 4 days and then stay home for 2 or 3, 4 days to recover. And then he's gone again. So it's just, this is more difficult than a lot of people understand, and I apologize. I'm not going to apologize for it actually, because this is real, and this is just not me. There's hundreds of thousands of people that are in the same situation that I'm in. Hopefully they can show a little bit more love to their family members or a family member that's going through the same process, because the only way they're going to be able to get out of this is if someone gives a shit about them. That's a fact. They're never going to get out of this hole if no one cares, right? They're going to continue doing it or they're going to die. So I know that I'm doing the very best I can, and that's all I can do. And thank you, Ellen. I appreciate you coming in and saying hello to me. So addiction, it's baffling. Trust me, I'm an addict. I'm a recovering addict too. Just mine's alcohol. And we all we all have addiction. There's food addiction, there's TV addiction, there's social media addiction, there's all kinds of stuff out there that the human being's addicted to. Right now, it's just my brother's addicted to drugs, and he's having a hard time with it. So, and I'm kind of addicted too, I guess. I'm addicted to nicotine, so I can't really rule myself out too. That's something that I'm trying to wean myself off from right now. I'm not perfect, but I don't drink alcohol anymore. That's a good feeling. I tell you, to be honest with you, I feel 100 times better right now. For some reason, it just came over me. It's weird. It just, like stress, just went. It's crazy. You know, I really love this. I love this idea that I have 4 people in here supporting me at this very moment. That's my lucky number. 4 is my lucky number. So that's a god. And I was born in the 10th month, and I got 10 likes. So I love it. It's not good to know where we are not alone. Yeah, it sure is. Thank you, Ellen. I really appreciate that. You're right. You know, no one said this world was going to be easy, and it takes a village to raise a family. And I always heard those things here and there, and then I never really paid any attention to it until I actually am living it. And I could have been in a lot of places right now in my life. I could be 6 feet under if I'm very blessed and grateful for where I am right now, first and foremost. And I'm very grateful for you guys giving me an opportunity to be able to speak. And I was so afraid about doing a video again. I didn't really want to. And you guys give me greater hope. And it's a good feeling. Feeling that you're not alone. Feeling that God's there too. It really helps. Hey, may I ask who's still on? Can you guys just let me know who's still on? I'm probably going to get going here. I got to bring my daughter back home. So I'm sending love and light on my lighthouse, steady and strong. You can bliss the road to happiness. And thank you all you guys out there for showing your love and support for my first video back. It was a strong one. And maybe you guys can get to know me a little bit better. And you know that with a loving heart, you can do anything. Just remember that. Love is the most powerful energy. And once you can hone that energy, you are invincible. Truthfully invincible. And then you can use that power to instill that power in others. With that being said, I don't know. I'm so grateful. And I'm grateful for this opportunity because I think this video is probably going to touch somebody. It's probably going to make them realize that I'm no different than anybody else on this planet. We're all equal. We just have a different story to tell. And once we realize that story, we find out another thing about that person we didn't know. Their great power. What brought them to where they are today. And right there is a blessing. I love you all. Sending love and light. We'll see you guys later.